All right, sticking with football here on the SportsMax Zone, this time from Jamaica's top flight. It was an intense start to round 3 of the Ray and Nephew Jamaica Premier League with 4 matches on Sunday. Veer United were held to a 1-0 draw by Humber Line in the Clarendon Derby, while Harbourview, they're doing pretty well, beat Malines United 2-1 on their return home to the Harbourview Mini Stadium, better known as the Compound. In the early televised game at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex, Cavalier eased to a 2-0 win over 10-man Waterhouse. And in the second game, Arnett Gardens and Racing United played to a 1-1 draw. Shall we have a look at the points standings heading into the remaining matches in round number 3? So you'll see Cavalier there at the top of the standings with 7 points from their 3 matches. Harbourview in second position, doing very, very well so far. Harbourview, after their opening game defeat to Chapperton Maroons, they have really rebounded pretty well with a couple of wins now. Arnett Gardens, 1 win and 1 draw. That was last night. Racing United lost their opening game to Waterhouse, but they have a win and a draw subsequent to that. Veer United lost their opening game to Montego Bay United. They have a win and now a draw subsequent to that. And Montego Bay United there as well in the top 6. They have 3 points. That came, of course, in their opening match. Mount Pleasant, just 1 match played so far. So too Chapperton Maroons. Of course, the Caribbean Cup, the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup is taking place. So it has meant that some matches have not been played. Humber Line, Waterhouse, Tivoli Gardens, Malines United, the top 12, with Portmore United and Dunbeholden yet to get off the mark. They're in the relegation zone at this stage, but it's very early. They're in the red, literally on your screen, and Malines United, they are yet to get off the mark as well. They have 0. Yeah, they're in 12th position, but it's not because they have a point. At least not yet. Leighton Levy, a lot is going on in the Jamaica Premier League, a lot of exciting matches, and I think this season is already shaping up to be quite a competitive one. We're going to be looking back shortly at what happened yesterday in terms of the 2 matches, but personally, I am already liking the look of this campaign. I've been impressed with Racing United. They're a promoted team. Chapperton Maroons in their opener, I thought were very good. The movement of the ball, the way they passed the ball and so on. I love the way they played in that opening game against Harbourview, and it just looks as if it's going to be a really competitive campaign. Yeah,
at the outset, I mean, just a couple of games into the new season, and what it looks like to me is that there's a lot more parity than in previous years. Teams are not being overrun like perhaps in a few years ago. What we're seeing is that teams are now beginning to play football in a way in which I like this, and this is a personal thing again. I was particularly impressed with Cavaliers' win, notwithstanding that the fact that that Waterhouse were a man down.
Yes.
But just the way the movement of the ball, there seems to be now clear patterns of play for the teams, all of the teams that I've seen so far. And yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I think we've seen an improvement in the quality of play, and also the competitive nature of the league is perhaps at its best so far this season.
Yeah, of course. So last night, the second game at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex, the home team, Arnett Gardens, took on promoted Racing United. And what a match it was. Here's George Davis describing with the highlights.
Arnett Hamilton sending us on our way. Racing's attacking unit. Biggs, Thompson, Cole. A joy to watch, especially on the dribble. Arnett pressed incessantly. Thomas with his effort tipped over the bar by Carlisle Holmes. Another angle. And Jaheim Thomas's effort destined for goal, but for the intervention of Carlisle Holmes. Arnett again. Ball finds its way to Alton Lewis. His driven effort, near post, save by Carlisle Holmes. Then Giovanni Thompson. Big moment in the game. Eases Shane Watson off the ball. Crosses it looking for Cole. Alton Lewis in front of Cole. And off his knee for the own goal. And that's how Racing United went in front against the run of play. Giovanni Thompson sending Philander Wing to the shop. And then here they come again. Look at Biggs. Dances away from Wing. Away for another challenge. Sends Wing and the effort saved by Roger Williams. And then this, the best of Biggs. Against two defenders. Twisting. Drifting away from Shane Watson. And his effort just drifting away from that unguarded left-hand side of the Arnett Gardens goal. Thrilling. And then this, Alton Lewis fires the cross in. Cleared. Marlon Allen. Kimani Arboin. Effort deflected. Arboin and deflections. It will come up once again. And this effort. Biggs off the crossbar. And the play didn't stop because from that same sequence, Arnett would go up the field. And then this switch of play from Thomas to Arboin. Look at his feet. The defender was looking at his feet, which is why he was left in a heap. And then Anton Rule, his chest got in the way of Arboin's shot, wrong-footing the goalkeeper. A lovely, lovely play from Kimani Arboin, leaving the defender headman for dead. Late in the contest, Shepherd. The last kick of the game will fall to Warner Brown off the crossbar. That's how close Arnett came to winning this game 2-1.
Yeah, what a terrific game last night in the jungle. Arnett Gardens won, Racing United won. And you know, Leighton, we already know so much about the Arnett Gardens players and the firepower that they possess, especially up front with the likes of Warner Brown, with Arbuin and so on. But a number, well, quite a few of the Racing United players, really exciting to watch. We've already spoken a lot about the 19-year-old Nikhil Ellis, who was impressed. I think their goalkeeper, Carlisle Holmes has been brilliant so far this season. We saw Biggs last night. And there's another youngster, Javon Cole, who was part of the St. Catherine High School Walker Cup winning team. I think it was when they won the first Walker Cup title. So much skill, so exciting on the football, and they make a really good watch. And it made last night's game an even better watch when you had all that excitement coming together. Arnett Gardens versus Racing.
It was a pulsating game, and the only complaint I have and continue to have about these games is the surfaces on which they play. Because you saw last night a lot of players break down primarily because of the surface. And I agree with you. I think Racing looks a very good team. For a team that's just been promoted, I think they look like they belong. And as you mentioned before, the number of players that they have who are good on the ball, what is one of the key things, they're good on the ball, and the system of play looks really, really sound. And to hold a team like Arnett last night the way they did, I thought was very commendable. And I think
some would say they were held to a 1-0 draw by Arnett.
Yeah, you could argue that because, I mean, to be fair, they had their opportunities to win as well, several opportunities, in fact. And I thought that in watching the game, you know, as I said to you before, I was like, you would not, if you just came out of space or somebody teleported you from somewhere and you're landed and watched this game, you would never know that Racing is a team that's just playing in the Premier League for the first time. And that's a good thing to see. Yeah,
it's a very good thing to see. And on the point of the surfaces, I mean, clearly one of my concerns, especially with the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex, because so many games are played there and is expected to be played there throughout the course of the season. You're always fearful that the surface may not hold up, and as the season goes on, more wear and tear, and your worst fears will come through in terms of surfaces that are not necessarily ideal. I think at its best, the surface at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex is a pretty good one, but if you're having games regularly on Sunday and Monday and you're having double headers consistently, the wear and tear will come.
Yeah, because the field needs a chance to recover. I mean, the grass is going to wear and tear. There are going to be patches in there that's going to make the flow of the ball not as good as you would like it to be. One of the things that I've always said, you know, is if Jamaica manages to fix its playing surfaces, you would find a lot more quality players coming to the fore. because I think the inability to be sure of your pass, the inability to be sure of receiving a pass, if you take all of that away, they can focus on the skill. And the skill is what we saw last night. In so many of the games last night, I mentioned the Cavalier game because I watched that game Sunday. It was the first game I watched on Sunday.
Yes.
And, I was impressed with how well Cavalier played. I didn't think what was particularly impressive. But I was also concerned about some of the play that obviously was disrupted by the surface or the lack of a proper playing surface. I understand that surfaces are expensive to create and to maintain, but something has to be done to improve, because the quality is there, obviously. The reality is that for it to move forward and to become even a more attractive league, I think the surfaces need to be improved.
Yeah, very much the case. And a couple of things, of course, the Harborview Mini Stadium, the compound, back in use now. They are not yet ready to host television games and night games, but from what I understand, that is expected to come on stream pretty soon. There is the Waterhouse Mini Stadium as well, where at some point this season we will be having football there, night games and television games there as well. So hopefully with more clubs having quality surfaces to play on, it will mean that there isn't an over-reliance on any one venue like we've quite often seen with the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex. Speaking about Cavalier, it's great to see the Trinbagonian. It's a young man I have a lot of time for. I love skillful players. I love players who can do things with the football. I love players who look comfortable with the ball at their feet. And Kylie Aubrey, from Trinidad and Tobago, he came across from Mount Pleasant. He's now with Cavalier, scored last week. To me, had another pretty good game yesterday, and I just feel he is fitting in nicely. And for me, he's great to watch. He
makes that Cavalier team tick, I think, when you look at it in how he connects the play, and how I just said, he's comfortable on the ball. And one of the things that impresses me about him is that he always seems to be aware of where he's on the field, and he's able to make those passes that are crucial to the team, either advancing the ball or maintaining possession of the ball. And I think I was particularly impressed with him, as you rightly said yesterday. And I think that was what made Cavalier look. Everybody who knows me knows I've been very critical of local football for a long time.
Yes, you have.
But the reality of what I saw yesterday, I was very pleased. And I think the injection of players coming from overseas, I think will also help the league to grow as well, because those talents coming here will then, to use that loose term, rub off on some of the local players by the experience of playing against them and playing with them. I think it overall improves the overall play of the game.
Yeah, there is no doubt that in recent years the quality of the Jamaica Premier League has improved significantly. Having said that, though, I am still surprised that someone of the quality of Kylie Aubrey from Trinidad and Tobago is still playing in the league. I really would think that he would be playing at a higher level at this stage. I think he is that good and he has that much talent. All right, that's it for this segment from the Jamaica Premier League. More matches tonight on your home of champions, so ensure you check those out and watch the JPL. Download the SportsMax app, because that's where you can get everything and you won't miss a thing. There is match number 1, Chapperton taking on Montego Bay United. Yeah, that should be a pretty good game. After the SportsMax Zone, you can go and watch the rest of it. Take care. We'll be back with more.